What's up, everybody? I'm out here being constructive. Once again, it's Nomad out here being constructive, working on Honey Bun's room, doing the drywalling. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk to you about the types of drywall I use to do her room, different types of drywall. I'm gonna talk about the tools I used. I'm gonna talk about how I fasten the drywall. Check it out. Okay, so here are the tools. Okay, so here's pencils. I like using these flat carpenter pencils. It's heavier piece of lead and it's just easier to use. All right, so this is a drywall T-square that you have to use. These are the screws. So this is 1 1/4 inch screw, drywall screw. This is 1 5/8 inch drywall screw. What's important to know, if you're using when you're installing your drywall and it's going into wood, you need to have coarse thread. Has to be coarse thread. If it's not coarse thread and it says fine thread, don't buy it. That's for metal studs. Okay. More information on the screw. So how I was taught is 5/8 of the screw needs to penetrate the wood. So if you got a 1/2 inch piece of sheetrock, you'll still have 3/4 of an inch of penetration into the wood, the stud. Now I like to use 1 5/8 screws, particularly for the ceilings, and if I'm putting my sheetrock on top of the lath. That's just what I like to do. Obviously, you need a tape measure. I use my impact driver with a Phillips head number 2 bit. This is my drywall saw. My man John Philpott gave it to me. He was the person who taught me how to, do this type of work, construction work. That was my guy. You need a utility knife, right, to cut the drywall, and this is a screwdriver. Drywall has a couple of different names. They call it drywall, they call it gypsum board, and they also call it sheetrock. Sheetrock it's like a brand name, but that brand is so popular that they use the term sheetrock to apply to all types of drywall. So anyway, so sheetrock, when you buy it in at the store, it comes in panels, large panels. The panels are they vary in thickness. They'll either be 3/8 inch. You'll get them in 1/2 inch. You can get them in 5/8 inch. Okay, that's the thickness. But you can also buy them they're bought in sheets. So there'll be a 1/2 inch thickness, 4 feet wide by 8 feet long, or it'll be 10 feet long. It could be 12 feet long. So basically, sheetrock is basically sheets of paper, right? Sheets of paper, and this is the gypsum. This stuff in here is gypsum. This is the stuff it's made out of. So, and you can see how this is paper on it, the back side, right? This is the side. This back side is the side that you use, that you put against the studs. This is the side that is facing the interior. Okay, this is the side that you're going to be facing in the interior. Okay, so another thing you need to see is it's tapered. So it's like thick, and then it tapers to the end. That's actually sheetrock. That's made by USG. This right here is like green board. Same people USG make it. This is for typically we use this in the bathrooms for mold resistant and moisture resistant. And the new one that I like to use now is the purple one. Purple. I don't know. They just call it purple by Goldbond. You can pick it up at Lowe's. And same exact thing. It's just another maker of it. It has a tapered edge. You use the purple one for the bathrooms. It's supposed to be mold resistant, mildew resistant, and moisture resistant. So I typically like to use this. It also, what I like about the Lowe's drywall, it has these things called grid marks, and I'll show you that on another in a couple of seconds. Now, in regards to this purple sheet, this purple sheet is significantly heavier than this sheet. Okay, so just a real quick example of the grid marks. Okay, so you see I got this hit the stud and this hit the stud. So just to show you what I would want it to look like, so how easy it is. Okay, so imagine if this wasn't here, this X wasn't here, this X wasn't here. I would have to try to figure out I from this to this, right? And I figure and say all these X was not here. I would have to try to eyeball it and figure out, okay, the screw should go here, right? But the fact that these grid marks, these X's are here, it's easy for me to say, okay, right here, the last one was about this far, this is about 1.5 inches, okay, 1.5 inches over, right here, boom, see, hitting stud, you see that, hitting stud, okay, hitting stud. So that's how you know, that's why it's so easy to use this grid mark. It's real easy to eye it. You got a reference point, boom, real easy. I like it. What I wanted to show you is, you see how this screw it's not flush. You can feel it's not flush with the wall yet, right? And you don't want to over screw it, but then you don't want to underscrew it, because when you're doing your spackling, right, you have to make sure, or the joint, you applying a joint compound, you need to make sure that it's somewhat underneath the sheet, but you don't want to do it so much that it goes all the way through. So this is how you want it to look. So let's see if I can get it for you. Say still a little bit, right there. That's how you want it to be, okay? You can see how it's like a little impression in there, right? You're not damaging it, it's just a little tiny impression. That's perfect. That's how you want it to look. Why it's good is because it's not damaging too much of the sheetrock. It's just a tad bit pushed in. Just enough that when you apply your joint compound, it'll cover it. So it's like a little bit below flush, okay? That's how we want it. It's not destroying the integrity of the sheetrock, and it's still gripping. It's holding the sheetrock to the wall, to the stud. Why this one is bad is because it's too deep, okay? It's too deep.